Welcome back to Cigar Creed. Thank you for joining us. I'm JJ. Today what we are going to do, because of late, I've had a bunch of questions regarding mold and blue mold and mildew, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some. Now what I have here is some leaves I grew over this past summer, and they're not the best. Not too proud of them. Hey, shit happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray them. I just got a little bit of distilled water in here. That's all I'm going to use because everybody else is using it. So I just want to show you how easy mold happens and how quickly mold can culture. Whether you're using tap water, distilled water, it does not matter. Conditions are what does it. So right now they're pretty brittle, okay? You know, you hear that crunch. Not too pliable. So I'm going to spray them down, let them soak, spray them again, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we are back, and they are now more pliable. Okay, still a little bit crinkly, not too bad, but this video, is for, experiment purposes and to let everybody know what you're looking at. All right, everybody's heard of the mold, mildew, white mold, blue mold, but how many of us have actually really seen it? And have ever dealt with it or wondered how it became. So that's what we're going to do, okay? Nice and pliable leaves. They are still a little moist. I can feel it. They're a little sticky. A lot of that's due to the color too. Anyway, we'll get into that later on. So now I've got them moist enough, pliable enough. I got a couple jars here. And I'm going to put 2 leaves together. Okay. Just like that. Doesn't matter, back to back, face to face, whatever. Okay. And I am just going to fold them on each other. Okay. Now, there will be no airflow. Okay. That is going to be the biggest thing that I could not press enough. Airflow. A lot of people don't realize how important airflow is, especially when you're growing tobacco. Okay? Because that's when things start to culture, when you don't have that airflow, because nothing's getting dry and drying quick enough at a pace where it's where we want it to be. So I will cover them up. Little saran wrap, yeah, a little bit big, whatever. Cover it up. Put elastic around it, and it will sit. It does not take long for the mold to culture at all. Matter of days. This is important, especially for anybody thinking of growing their own tobacco this year. Anyway, we have our jars. Okay, they're in there, and they will sit, and we'll check up on them in a few days. I don't know how much of a close-up we can get here, but it definitely has mold on it. So we are doing pretty good. Okay, so these are our tobacco leaves that we put in the jars that were pliable, a little bit more than just slightly damp, just enough to make them fairly pliable. I don't know how well you can see, but there is some excellent mold growing on them. Okay, I'm just going to open up the first one here. Now, you don't want to be doing this inside your house, okay? If you're going to try this, something like this, you know, don't do it. Like, you can have the jars sitting inside the house as long as they're covered up if you want to try this, you know, on your own. See what you come up with. Anyway, it's mold. You don't want it in your house. Okay, I'm in the garage, and that's where I'm going to be opening it up. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. You don't want it getting in your vents or anything else like that. So, here's the leaves. Now, I don't want to move this around too much, too quickly, too fast. I don't want the mold to become airborne in any way. It's hard to see. I'll have to get some close-up pics on it. But yeah, it's there. Just want to rotate that. You can see it all within here. And this has only been, what are we looking at? 6 days. Look at that. 6 days. Look at all that mold that occurred just in 6 days. So, there's a bit of white there. Okay, so blue is all inside here. There's some white mold there. Okay. And this didn't take long, really. So imagine your humidor, okay, with too much humidity, and you went away for 3 days only, instead of 6. Imagine how much damage that would do. Okay? Like, look at, so, you know, right inside, oh my God, look at that, 6 days, just for being, you know, a little bit extra humidified. You know, your humidor would be ruined, your cigars would be ruined. You know, they aren't cheap. Plain and simple. Cigars are not cheap. And for, you know, anybody just like myself, you know, we work hard for the money and we indulge a little bit, you know, and like anybody in the world would want the best for themselves. So, you know, you sit there and you scrimp and you save and whatever and purchase what you want, some of the higher end stuff. God forbid this happens to anybody. Look at that. Oh my God. 6 days, that was it. That's all it took to get all this. And it was still crunchy. Half of it was still crunchy when I put it in there. So, you know, I really didn't saturate it. Look at that. Could you imagine that all over your cigars? Not me. That's my nightmare. Anyway, I'm gonna get some pics of that and then toss them. You know, if you got cigars like this, oh, don't even try. Just pitch them. You know, I wouldn't smoke them. I wouldn't even give them to my enemy. Anyway, I hope this kind of sheds some light on some of you guys. Keep an eye on your stuff. That's why airflow is so important, especially when you're growing tobacco. You got to have that airflow. And this is a good way of showing you. You know, they were in the jars, cellophane on top, and they weren't in very hot temperatures either. So I had these sitting in my basement on a shelf, and my basement sits at about 23 degrees Celsius, so I'm not too sure what that is in Fahrenheit. You guys can do the math. However, it didn't take long, 6 days. So hopefully, you know, you guys know what you're looking at now, okay? That's it. Nasty, nasty stuff. Okay? You see, I don't know how well you can see it, but see how fuzzy it is. Okay? That's not plume. So when you see that on your cigars, that is not plume. Okay? That's mold. And, you know, hopefully you guys will keep an eye on your stash or check on it if you haven't done it in a while. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that this is going to occur, but it happens. People are in a rush. You're going out of town or something, or you're on your way out for a day or two, and you know, you're in a rush, and you realize, you know, you're on your way out the door or something, that, oh, I forgot to check the humidifier in my humidor. Is there enough water in it? Especially guys with, you know, people with one-way system where it releases water. That's why I like Boveda so much. It absorbs the excess moisture because it's set at a specific RH. You know, any type of device that gives off the humidity, you overfill that, or, you know, you leave it too saturated and figure, okay, well, I'm only gone for a day or two or just the week, it'll be fine. Don't chance it. Don't risk it. You know, check on your stuff, do your due diligence, and, you know, have some happy, safe smokes. Anyway, that way you have something to share with everybody. Anyway, again, a little experiment. Some people maybe didn't know what they were looking for or looking at. And, you know, I don't blame them. There's so much information out there that, you know, sometimes you don't know what to trust. But that's why I did this experiment, you know. I wanted to show everybody how quickly it can accumulate and escalate to this, you know, level. And, you know, hopefully shed some light on some things and any questions you may have. But if you do have any questions, let me know, you know. I'll throw my email down below, you know, leave a comment, and best way to keep in touch is to subscribe. So anyway, thumbs up, click the like button, don't forget to subscribe, comment, join the creed. Lots more coming at you, and we'll see you soon.